Hey guys, quick note. I'm just gonna let you know ahead of time if you're not familiar with this name, this episode's gonna get rough, so trigger warning. Enjoy.
Let's do it.
Cuckoo.
Cuckoo.
Cuckoo, cuckoo, Mrs. Robinson.
Nailed it.
Really off key, but that's okay. This is a show.
I mean, who sings on key?
Nobody anymore.
Yeah, it's all auto-tune, I think, at this point.
I mean, yeah.
I wouldn't say all, but
Nah.
there's a good bit of it.
Quite a bit.
Do we want to do a show?
Always.
A well-behaved woman is trim and proper. Chores always done, not a hair out of place. When the husband comes home, she greets him with a smile.
I'm sorry, what the fuck?
Are you tired of Hitler?
Have your mercy.
Okay, one liar as a kid can find another liar.
I want that stricken from the record.
How else is she gonna learn if she doesn't have a feather?
I can go fuck in the big house.
You're a mess, girl.
I am here to audition for Babysitters Club extras.
I brought my own hammer.
There we go. Now we can unmute.
Oh, we were muted?
No, I just will cut it out.
I just sat there. I like to listen to the intro.
Every time she's like taken back in. Shh. I'm in the middle of the last episode.
I'm in the Matrix.
I blue-pilled hard.
Oh, did you?
I'm joking.
She's flatlining.
Oh,
Yeah, that's right. I took my meds.
All right.
Yeah.
no. Anyway,
Making it weird. Woo!
who are we?
I don't know. I'm Zombie Hannah. I know that.
There you go.
Yeah. All the memories are coming, starting
She
just
to...
remembers. Every week we have to reset Zombie Hannah's
Right.
brain so that she remembers not to eat us.
It's like at the end of...
and so it
Well, what the
takes time to
listeners don't
reload.
get to see is that we have to put her away in a box at the end of each episode and then take her out again at the beginning. So it's like a soft little reset.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we have to like feed her and then her brain slowly resets to like, okay, friends. And then we have to put her in a box for another week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a tape. Hi, we're your friends. You don't want to eat us, right?
It's 51st dates, but for zombies.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Every morning.
God forbid she gets pregnant one time, then we have to explain all that.
No, I'm dead. My ovaries aren't dropping eggs.
That's what
Shit's
you
not
think.
happening.
I don't know zombie magic.
I do. I'm a zombie.
You're a new zombie, all right?
Okay, but I know.
New to the
things.
game.
I know things.
What are we learning today?
So do you want to do a little on this year?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, let's get started then, shall we?
Let's guess.
Shall we? Wait, who are we, I guess?
Should we intro?
Oh yeah, we only introduced me. So who are you people?
Yeah.
Well, I'm nobody in particular today.
Okay, he's feeling
Can
that.
we call him Calvin?
And Hobbs.
I should call him Adam, like I did that one day where I couldn't remember his name.
Episode 1. Go back to the...
Yeah, this is literally episode 1.
Go back to the log.
Well, it wasn't one in total. It was our first episode.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
hi,
for those
Lauren.
of people who are like kind of new to that, I guess if you go and listen to the first few episodes, I did it with a different person, and she is a buddy that I had in Seattle, and then I moved away from Seattle, and
She gone.
it just didn't work out. So
Yeah, life got complicated.
we wish her the best,
comes at
but
you
yeah,
fast.
now we're doing it here in a different place.
Pod
So
Lab Studios, Raccoon Sanctuary.
Raccoon Sanctuary.
TM.
This is Well Behaved Women. We are a podcast.
Yay!
We
Yep.
are a podcast. That's about all we are, though.
We a show. And we usually start in a certain type of way.
On this year in history.
All right. So we got Claudette Colvin, a 15-year-old African-American girl. She refuses to give up her seat on a bus in Montgomery, Alabama to a white woman after the driver demands it. She is carried off the bus backwards while being kicked, handcuffed, and harassed on the way to the police station.
I saw a drunk history about her.
Do you want to lock in your guess then?
On what year? I'm not that confident.
Okay. Winston Churchill reigns as Prime Minister Winston Churchill resigns as Prime Minister of the United Kingdom.
The opposite of what you said, in fact. Oops, the other thing.
He backtracked.
Anyway, he resigns as Prime Minister of the United Kingdom due to ill health at the age of 80.
Okay.
The First Sudanese Civil War begins.
I don't know what year that started, but let me guess.
Oh, that didn't give it away?
No, the first one should have
The
given it away.
first Sudanese war was not the thing that gave
first
it
one.
away?
I'm going to guess
You don't know your Sudan history?
is 1960. 1960.
I was going to say 63.
Okay. Under the guidance of Dr. Humphrey Osmond, Christopher Mayhew ingests 400 milligrams of mescaline hydrochloride and allows himself to be filmed as part of a panorama special for BBC TV in the UK that is never broadcast.
Oh, that's fun.
No.
Oh.
No, they just decided it wasn't appropriate.
Yeah.
This guy's going
We
to do
probably
what?
shouldn't
He's
put
going
this
to do
on
what
air.
on TV? No.
Mescaline? What the fuck is mescaline?
He's going to trip balls, okay? He's going
balls as
to trip balls on live TV.
Just for the people.
Jesus
It's for
Christ.
science.
The 60s were wild.
Yeah, late 50s or early 60s. We still don't know
sticking to my
exactly.
guns.
Yeah, I'm going to say it's 1960.
And you're going 63?
Yeah.
All right.
Is that 2 in a row? Is it 61?
It is 1955.
Oh, we're
so
both
nobody
bad.
wins.
Nobody wins. I like that effect. It came with the recorder.
Oh, excellent.
I'm like, you know what? Done.
All right.
Since the dawn of time, there have always been those families. In every shit town, in every shit place, in every shit country, there is that one shit family in the area. You know their names, you have a story or two about them. They might be mostly harmless and have really loud fights.
Ah, yes,
or
the
they
shits.
or they will be the local drunks, but sometimes it's a lot worse than that.
Yeah,
you know?
you're coming in hard for someone today.
Prepare the table. We're having the shits for dinner.
Yep.
Put down the plastic.
I just want to get
Only
you
our finest china for the shits.
I just want to get your brain to the level that we need to start at. Is
Okay.
in all the shit towns and all the shit places, this shit family is pretty shit.
I mean, I grew up in a shit town, in a shit place, for sure.
I've driven through them.
This is the story of one of those families and the inevitable horrors that occur when you just let that take over.
Okay. It's going to get messy.
It's a great start, right?
Yeah.
Barbara Ruffin was married to a guy named Jack Ruffin in a small town called Aberdeen, New South Wales, Australia.
Okay, we're in Australia.
Together they had 4 boys.
That's rough.
Then she decided to fuck around on Jack with his friend and coworker Ken Knight.
Not
Wow.
advisable,
These
ma'am.
names.
Not advisable.
The Ruffins divorced and the boys were split up. The older 2 stayed with Jack and the younger 2 went to live with an aunt in Sydney.
That's fucked.
None of them went with their mother.
Oh, that's just horrible for
Well,
those
that just
boys.
tells you everything you need to know about mom.
Yeah.
The scandal was so bad that Ken and Barbara moved 4 fucking hours away to
Ken.
a place they wouldn't be judged
I
for their
was just going
adultery.
to say, these
Barbara!
bitches' names were Ken and Barbie, for real?
Oh, yeah.
Hilarious.
Yep.
Okay, continue.
Insane.
Barbara was in a wildly abusive relationship with Ken.
No shock.
He would chase her around the house for sex, violently taking it whenever he
Oh,
wanted.
I was going to say it sounds fun, and then you said the second part.
Yeah. No, chasing around the house.
First part sounds kind of
not
whimsical.
fun. No,
Yeah,
it's
it would be
not.
fun, but basically when he catches up to her, he takes what he wants.
Yeah, no,
and-
that's not what
yeah,
I
it's-
just mean like in I'm going to get you.
Yeah.
Get out of the way.
No,
You're thinking like, ha ha ha,
Yeah, I'm
oh,
just messing
chase
around.
me, chase me.
I don't need that, but yeah.
No, I kind of like the little
thinking-
like, ooh, I'm gonna get you like that.
That's what I'm saying.
When you're
That's
when
the
you're having
energy
fun
I
with it,
feel-
like great,
No,
but no,
my-
this is like, I'm gonna fucking get you.
No, this is like from that
gonna
scene
fuck
in The
ya.
Shining.
I'm gonna fuck you.
That scene in The Shining where Shelley Duvall is running away from Jack Nicholson and he's got the axe and she's just like,
Johnny. Yeah.
stay away, stay away.
Only the axis is penis.
Yeah, exactly. Now he gets it.
Only the hammer.
He uses his penis to knock a hole in the wall and goes, "Here's
In fact, I call it
Johnny."
the hammer.
Yep. Amazing.
Thrust the door and there's a big hole and he goes, "Here's
Jesus.
Johnny."
We missed that whole thing because we
Yeah.
got off on a little
Yeah,
Dr. Horrible.
yeah, yeah. You did. You missed it. Now it's not funny.
It's still funny, but as somebody who has a penis, imagining one so hard it could break a door.
It wasn't. Yeah.
Scary.
No. Maybe I didn't read
The
the room.
splinters that would go into that,
You're taking a joke too
it's
seriously.
terrible.
Pass.
Yeah. So sometimes 10 times a day, Barbara would be forced to endure this.
Though. God.
Yeah.
What?
10 times a day.
This dude's an addict.
Yeah.
Yes, an extreme addict and violent one at that.
Sheesh.
They had 4 more kids with Ken, which was absolutely no shocker because 10 fucking times a day. Whew. So 2 were a set of twin girls, Joy and Katherine.
Yeah. Okay. Poor
Barbara,
kids.
yeah,
I'm
poor
just
fucking
saying.
kids.
I'm saying a prayer for them.
Your prayers are not going to be answered.
They're all dead now. It doesn't matter. Well, probably some of them are still alive based on the story.
I was
This
gonna
is about
say.
as good as it gets. I'm just going to go ahead
their
and this is as
70s.
good as it gets.
As good as it gets.
Okay.
I was just erring on the spooky side.
Yep.
Yeah.
So trigger warning just for the whole episode. I'm just going to call it now.
Barbara was more than open about the fact that she was in a terrible relationship and frequently trauma dumped on her own children, forcing them to be acutely aware of how terrible their parents' relationship was. Catherine
Sounds appropriate.
Catherine and Joy grew up being told explicit and violent sex stories.
Why?
They also grew up being told how terrible and awful men were.
Well, okay. My dad gave me that conversation.
Yeah. When Catherine was 6, Jack Ruffin died, so the older 2 boys from Barbara's first family came to live with the Knights. Catherine was repeatedly sexually abused until about 11 years old.
Oh my God.
Not by her father, but by others in the family. And it might have been the brothers or her other siblings or other,
Right.
even an
Just
uncle.
the fact that it's supposed to be family. And
Yes,
that, no.
she was abused, and that's enough to know.
horrendous.
Her only friends growing up were her twin sister Joy and her uncle Oscar Knight.
Well, sounds like Oscar.
Uncle
is,
Oscar Knight
is
sounds
a
like a band.
suspect.
Oscar Knight was a award-winning horse rider. I think he did the jumps
Derby?
and shit.
Oh.
What, Barbara's uncle?
Dressage.
No, Catherine's uncle.
Oh,
so
Catherine.
Barbara's brother-in-law, I think.
Oh, okay.
Ken's brother.
Uncle
forgot.
Oscar Knight. Band name. Mark it.
Just Uncle Oscar.
Uncle Oscar Knight.
It's got to be the 3 names.
Uncle Oscar Knight. Band name, I call it.
It's more fun to say that way.
Yeah, exactly. It's like Uncle Baby Billy.
Exactly.
Yes.
Thank you.
I'm with you. I'm with you. So, when she was 14, Catherine's Uncle Oscar Knight, committed suicide. And
That's not funny.
That took a turn very quickly.
I love when you guys laugh and then it
I
turns
just got
terrible.
attached to him.
I just got attached to him.
We gave him a nickname. Now he's dead.
Your nickname
And
was his
also,
entire name.
If I could just say again for the second time, I said they're dead, and immediately she goes, "He killed himself."
Yeah, you're right
Yeah.
about that one.
He unalived himself. for the
Yeah, as
kids,
TikTok
sorry.
wants
Yeah.
us to say it, because
What
apparently
the
that's
fuck
why they
ever.
muted that one.
Censor this.
So he unalived himself, and to this day, she says that following his death, she would see his naked form out in the yard visiting her.
Naked.
Yes,
Can you
naked.
imagine being haunted by the naked man who molested you?
Yeah, it's bad enough that he's there, like even in clothing. The person that hurt you, person that
His-
scares
his
you.
naked
he
ghost
wasn't.
won't even
He
leave
wasn't
you alone.
necessarily the person that hurt her. He was
I
like a
assumed.
very close friend of hers.
My
so
bad.
it was a person that she clearly trusted, and I don't know if that also meant that he was abusing her
Yeah, we
and
don't
she
know.
put her trust in someone. But I don't
Yeah,
want to
she's
make
so
that
young.
assumption.
You can't
Allegedly.
Like
tell.
it totally could have been, but it also
Okay,
could have
so
been
I made an
anyone
assumption.
else.
I'm gonna allege it, but again, he's dead, and I have no formal accusations.
Yeah, this doesn't get any better, so it really doesn't fucking matter.
Regardless, seeing a ghost, scary. Seeing a
Right.
naked ghost, very scary.
Very scary. Nobody wants to see a ghost, Willie.
But I'm pretty sure a lot of dudes would love to see ghost
Who's
press.
calling it a willy still?
I'm sorry,
You
I
sound like
still
my
have
grandmother.
still have that video of I've just named your penis.
Oh God.
Oh, hello, officer.
Oh, fuck. So, even when they moved back to Aberdeen, apparently the ghost followed her and continued to visit. Like, he changed locations along with the house.
Oh, he was attached to her.
I guess so.
Spiritually speaking, if
Yeah.
you're into that sort of thing.
I'm not.
I mean, that's what the movies and stories depict. Like ghosts can be attached to people.
Well,
and follow
yeah,
them.
that I know. But when
That's
you're,
all I mean.
I don't know. When you're saying if you know what I mean, it just makes it sound very innuendo.
If you know what I mean. Well, there's a whole game on whose line is it anyway. If you know what I mean.
I do love
You know what
that
I mean?
show.
It's all about
Oh my
you
God.
picking up what I'm putting down. Do you catch my drift?
I just filed my taxes, if you know what I mean.
Jesus Christ.
Did you know what I
I just diversified my portfolio.
There
if you know what I
it is.
mean.
That's what I'm talking about. I just got my refund, if you know what I mean.
Hell yeah. Get that
Oh,
refund.
okay. You guys are funnier than me. I get it.
Katherine went to high school, and she was a bully to students and teachers alike.
Great.
Yep. She assaulted one kid with a quote-unquote weapon and attacked a teacher enough that the
Yeah.
teacher hurt Katherine in self-defense.
What's the quote-unquote weapon?
She jammed a pencil on his ass.
I'm pretty sure it was like something like a scissors or pencil or some shit.
I don't know.
She scissored him.
Yeah.
Technically, schools think screwdrivers are a weapon. It could be one of those.
Anything you can stab somebody with.
True.
Yeah, pretty much. But apart from that, she was a model student.
Straight A's.
So while she's
Mega
causing
bitch.
chaos, she's keeping up straight A's.
Yeah,
That's
she
a
got
talent.
she got really good grades, and when she wasn't hulking the fuck out, her behavior was like perfect.
Okay, so
Don't
she
fuck with me,
is a
Holmes.
little Jekyll, little Hyde.
Right, but it wasn't to last long. So, school bored the fuck out of her. And in Aberdeen at that point, these high schoolers basically were just waiting to go and work at some sort of processing facility.
All right,
Waiting for their-
nerds, I'm out.
Right. So
Yeah.
when she was 15, she started working as a cutter in a clothing factory.
No, all right.
That too was a dud. So at 16, she got a job with one of her brothers at the local slaughterhouse, which was called an abattoir. Katherine was to cut up the offal, which is called the organs that used to go to like dog food factories, but now are really expensive restaurants use as like delicacies and charge
Well,
$30 a fucking plate for.
The organ meat is where all the most
I know.
dense protein and
I love a
nutrients
good
are.
I love a good liver. If it's
Love
made
is a
just
strong word.
if it's
Okay.
made just the right way, it's
I've never
really good.
had
It's
liver
super
other
rich.
than like in a liver pate, and I hated that.
I would say that like
So how would you do
grilled,
liver?
reverse seared.
Yeah, so like I'll season it and then I'll reverse sear it and then I'll throw it in the pan and just with a little bit of salt and pepper and some butter.
Because I just have like a chicken liver pasta sauce recipe, and that's about
Yeah,
it.
organ meat is just very earthy, so it has a very particular taste to it, and if you don't cook it correctly, it
Well,
can
like,
taste funky.
does that include
Yeah.
intestines? Because I like to eat like tripe
Sometimes,
or sheep
but,
intestines
like,
or like tongue.
yeah, you
Liver
just have to know
especially.
how to prepare that thing
Right.
because there are certain like
Yeah.
with
Like people think
like
your liver
hearts,
is
they
like
get
filled
tough
with stuff.
if you
Yeah.
cook them cook them higher than a certain temperature and too fast, it'll get really tough. So you have to do like with hearts, it's got to be like low and slow.
Liver is the same way because people think like liver is hollow, but a liver is like a big mass of thick, fucking full tissue.
Yeah, that I
It's
knew.
porous.
Yeah.
But like when you cut a cross section of liver, it's just solid.
Yeah.
Right.
There's nothing like
So,
that. There's no
like-
cavern inside.
Yeah, so you got to cook it slow to make sure it doesn't get tough.
Yeah.
You know, and
It cooks evenly.
Yeah,
It
Okay.
should be able to like your fork should be able to kind of like mush through it pretty
Oh, see,
easily
that's too
when
soft
it's
for
done.
me.
turkey gizzards are another one.
don't
That's
think
Well,
liver's
fine.
that's
for
why
me.
they put it like liver and like in pasta and stuff. It's because you can smear it pretty easily.
Yeah, you can smear it. You can like
You can
blend
put it in
and like
sauces
put it in
and
yeah,
gravies
that's
and stuff,
exactly
yeah.
what I was gonna say. Yeah, it makes for like liver gravy is great.
Yeah.
Oh, an
It's really
exciting
it's
liver
really
segment.
rich. It's very tasty, and like back when it was really expensive to get good meats, like you could make stuff with the organ meats and make it go a long way.
But like nature tells us, when you see like shark attacks and killer whale attacks, they go right for the organs.
It's
Lions too. Yeah.
So Katherine cut up all of this good shit. Like she was the one that kind of took that out of the bodies at the slaughterhouse.
Nice.
She was a tall woman. She was she's a tall woman. She's over 6 feet and she's got giant curly hair. I'm going to show you a photo.
She's exactly what I thought she would look like.
Oh, hey, girl.
Has everybody seen the Boondock Saints?
I have, but a long time
Like the lady
ago.
the lady that works in the butcher shop with them that they get into like a fist fight with.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's exactly what I imagined.
Yeah.
I feel like I've seen that photo
That was,
before.
I
so
think,
that
made
means it's
right
probably
around this
she's a
time,
killer.
too. So I would not be surprised if they took a little inspiration from that.
Boondock Saints came out in like 99 or 2000 maybe, something like that. But yeah.
So she was really good at this.
The butcher lady.
The butcher lady. And it wasn't long before she was gifted a set of butcher knives. And she was promoted to the boning area.
Yeah, she was.
Yes, she was.
What a name. What a name.
Yeah, she was really good at it, so she was promoted to boning, which meant that she could work through muscles
How
and
old
like
are you?
debone things super quick.
29 as a matter of fact. It's not fun.
It's always funny. No,
you.
All right.
She got promoted to boning. How many times are we going to say it? It's hilarious.
Bone.
Is that from something?
She took the bone train.
Bone train, yeah. She took the long boat train.
Took the train to Bone Town.
Yeah, laugh. Haha.
Bon appetit.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, that just means enjoy your meal, I believe.
But she's got no sense of humor today.
I just like I don't know. I just am like I know what I don't know. Yeah, I don't think I have a sense of humor when it comes to boning.
Bone voyage.
Bone voyage. Yeah.
Fucking on vacation?
You wish.
Oh, all right.
Bone Daddy. We just watched
Bone
that Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What is it? Give me the slip, Bone Daddy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Those are excellent characters.
Them bones, them bones.
Yep.
What was the, like, your head bones connected to your neck bone? Knee bones connected?
That's not in that movie. That's a totally different
No.
thing.
It'd be hilarious if that was in that movie.
No, God, no.
A Danny
The
Elfman
drinking
version.
bone's connected to the party bone. It's a country song.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
The party bone's connected to the staying out all night long. Yeah, you should look it up. She won't think it's funny and will wind up all alone. And the drinking bone's connected to the drinking bone.
You both know this song?
It's an old country song.
Oh, that's why I don't know it.
That was like the only music that my mom would listen to. She'd get a headache to listen to anything.
What it is? The lonely bone's connected to the drinking bone?
I think, yeah.
Hey, it's cute.
It's a cute little cycle. Anyway,
Bird. That's it.
back to Catherine. She's at a slaughterhouse and she is loving boning. Like, she's
All
super
right.
good at it.
Master
I can enjoy
boner.
it.
She's a master boner, and this was her dream job, literally. Like, she told people that this was what she wanted to be doing because she was doing it like her father before her.
Professional boner.
Wait, how would you say that in an Australian accent? I'm not good at those. Crikey.
Fucking boning.
Like her father before her.
Fucking goddamn professional boner.
Boner. She loved these knives. Like, she loved them, and she hung these knives above her bed, and she displayed them proudly so that they would, quote, so they would always be handy if I needed them.
Why does this all sound so familiar?
So they would always be handy if I needed them.
And what's her name again?
Catherine.
What do I know? I'm trying to figure out if I know the story. Go ahead.
You do.
I'm sure I do.
She loved working at the slaughterhouse, and she made good friends with the dude in the pig killing room who loved his killing of pigs.
Oh, no.
She'd spend her free time there just
No.
watching him kill the pigs.
No. Let's go with the big old no.
By this time, like, she had also kind of been practicing. Like,
She said,
he'd
it'd be
given her
fun.
the opportunity to do it herself.
Let's bone the pigs.
Yeah.
Let's not.
And then she met David.
Shit.
David
Okay.
the bone.
She met the first David.
There's multiple Davids.
Red flag.
This is David
We've had
1.
this conversation before. Something about the same fucking name over and over.
I think it's a sign of psychosis when you do shit like that. I think it's you never moved on.
I can make it work with this one.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
I can bring out all of the decorations from the last
I
one
think it's
that I can
fucking
bring
creepy.
with this one. It's still accurate. 'cause
I
we
can
got the same
reduce,
name.
reuse, recycle.
I made it. It's so funny that you say that because I used to work in an office in St. Louis, and my boss, the man who owned the building and signed my checks, he got divorced, and he was married to a woman named Diane, and then his very next girlfriend that he decided to tell us about after he got divorced was also named Diane. And he had a reputation for being a pretty cheap fuck. And there was a bunch of office, like, awards on the walls all over the office of, like, Dan and Diane Sims. And I'll put him on blast. He's a piece of shit. I don't give a shit. And it was just so funny because he told us that, and I was like, Hey, at least you don't have to get the names changed on any of the plaques in the lobby.
Oh, God.
He did not appreciate that.
No, he probably
No, he's
didn't.
gonna get them all redone because it's like that's the wrong Diane.
I think they were spelled the same, but it was he turned so bright red. I was like, you really, out of all the women in the world, you had to find another Diane, huh? That's how cheap you are? You don't want to change names on nothing.
Well, it's especially bad because it's right after the Diane.
I got fired from that job. It's fine.
Oh, shit. You didn't need it.
No, I got fired because I was buying my own franchise of the same business, and I didn't want to take his money to finance it. That's why I got fired.
That's fair.
Kind of unfair, but
So,
has
Glossing.
nothing to do with my performance. As a matter of fact, in fact, opposite. It's the exact opposite.
all right. So we're meeting the first David.
David won.
David won. David Kellett was a severely traumatized drunk.
End of story.
Car. The end.
That's it.
That's it.
He used to work on the railroad and witnessed a buddy die in a rail yard incident and worked to save people from another terrible train crash. And it
grow
fucked
up.
him up
We've
properly.
We've all been there.
Yeah, who hasn't watched a bunch of your, people,
Yeah,
innocent
fucking
people die?
Cry about it.
Yeah. So it fucked him up and he took to the bottle. Obviously, this started to affect the quality of his work, so he got fired from the train job.
The drinking bone's connected to the lonely bone.
Yeah.
We said this.
You
Yep.
did sing this, yes.
A fucking oracle today.
He's got powers.
He just knows what type of things come with stories like this. He's like,
I'm a cheap
what's
TV
the worst fucking
magician?
thing that can happen?
Is there a
Let's do it.
Jerry here? Reduce me to that.
I'm a Jerry. Ah, I gotcha.
I've got 2 Terrys.
Close enough.
Oh, yeah, it was a T. It was a T.
It's the T,
They
yeah.
look the same.
Yeah, that little cross at the top.
There was
Yeah.
a smudge at the bottom. Made it look like a J.
So obviously, this started to affect the quality of his job. He got fired.
He wrecked a car.
Yep. In Aberdeen, he was able to find work at the abattoir, the slaughterhouse for the Americans. And he became buddies with one of Catherine's brothers, which was how they met.
And who is this guy?
This guy is David Kellett.
Okay. In comes David Kellett. Right?
In comes David.
This is the love of her slaughterhouse life.
Yeah.
Well, the
Well-
first part.
The first part of her slaughterhouse life.
Oh, God.
She was 18 years old and she liked to fuck a lot.
Okay.
The locals
mean-
called her a root rat.
What?
The 6-foot-tall butcher lady?
Yeah, the 6-foot-tall
root
butcher
rat.
lady is a root rat.
She's horny because no one wants to fuck her because tall women are intimidating to most average-sized men. That's what it is.
Yeah.
There's not enough tall
There's
enough
a lot
guys.
of hate.
Yeah.
Well, but she also, so she chose people that were smaller than her on purpose.
Well, of course she did.
Yeah.
Because power.
You know, an Amazon complex.
Yeah, for sure. David also liked to fuck. So,
Yeah.
Match made in heaven.
Yeah.
Climb that tree, boy.
so they
Enjoy your
started
time.
fucking.
So they started fucking.
You sound scared.
They did. So pretty soon they're going steady, and Catherine's more than happy to throw hands for her man. Like he
Jesus
was,
Christ.
because he was a drunk, he liked to get in fights, but then he found a woman that was like more than willing to step in front of him and be like, bitch, you want to fight? I'll
That's
fight
fucking
you.
funny. Short king with a bodyguard.
Yep.
Adorable.
After they'd been fucking for about a year, Catherine decided that they were going to get married.
So
She just
proposed.
decided.
Yeah, right, exactly. She got down on a knee.
Oh, she got bills.
Oh, you can't hear
It's a wedding day. They're getting married.
Like
Can you
church tower
believe
bells?
it?
Yeah.
She's gone down the aisle. Look how small he is.
That sounds more like a bell.
Are you going to have the chicken or the fish?
Yeah, that's exactly what I meant.
Yeah.
Should have played like. Dun, 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 dun,
Bum, 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 bum,
She like dunks the bouquet in the crowd.
Thank you. Now you're getting it. That's
There
the
it is.
spirit.
The two spent a few days on a serious bender, and when the two showed up to the
Fun.
chapel... Oh, it gets better. When the two showed up to the chapel, it was Catherine driving the motorcycle, David barely holding on to the back.
Hilarious.
They should have given him a sidecar. That's the next sticker.
That would
These
be
two in a
best.
motorcycle and sidecar.
Yes. No, he should be barely
No,
hanging
he's
off
just
the back.
like barely holding on
All right.
to her.
Is it a
like,
real
ruffled up
motorcycle?
his
Is it a
helmet.
moped? What's funny?
I'm assuming a real motorcycle.
It's a real motorcycle, yeah.
All right. I'll put them in their wedding dress and tux on the bike.
And his tux is all disheveled and his hair's
Is it
all
funnier
like,
if she's in the tux and he's in the dress?
No. Maybe.
A little?
Seems like it is.
Well, fucking now it is.
All right, cool.
Damn, I love that image. That's great. So on their wedding day, David recounts Barbara's advice to him. And I practiced a little bit of my Australian accent for this.
Keep it hard or I'm divorcing you.
I think it's, if I remember correctly, this is going to be fun.
So Barbara is Catherine's mom.
Oh, my bad.
This is the new ma-in-law who's given him advice.
Ma-in-law, but they're not from America.
Yeah. Quote, the old girl told me... I can't do this.
Yeah, I can't do this accent either. I don't know. B, you're their best
The
shot.
old girl... I can't do it.
Australian is not my strong suit.
Damn.
Anyway.
Okay. It's a very specific dialect.
The old girl told me to watch out. You better watch this one or she'll fucking kill you. Stir her up the wrong way. Or do the wrong...
kill ya.
Yeah. You better watch this one or she'll fucking kill you.
Oh, that's
better.
great.
Stir her up the wrong way or do the wrong thing and you're fucked. Don't ever think of playing up on her. She'll fucking kill you.
That was pretty close.
It wasn't bad.
And that was a mother talking. She told me she's got something loose.
We're
She's
back
got a
to
screw
English
loose
now.
somewhere. Yeah. Well, apparently he had an English accent, whatever. Anyway, I'm joking. He
Basically, the
didn't.
mom's just going, look, my daughter's fucked in the head.
You better
You're gonna
be
wanna
good to
watch
her or
out.
she will explode at you.
Yeah,
She'll squash
she
you
will
like a bug, boy.
absolutely murder you.
Mazel tov.
Any hooser.
Any user, they get married. So on their wedding night, Catherine and David only fucked 3 times.
Only. Also,
That's pretty good.
whose account is this?
All right. This is Catherine's account of the
Lordy.
wedding night. Yeah.
She's a very public lady.
Obviously, this was unacceptable because her parents had fucked 5 times on their wedding night.
I'm sorry, ma'am, is this a competition?
Aussies are weird.
It was unacceptable.
This is...
It
so
was
what?
unacceptable. After they fucked 3 times, David fell asleep. He
But
was
also-
like, I'm tired
He's allowed
because
to
I
be
just
tired.
fucked you 3 times.
There's no way they're not using dick pills. What in the hell?
Oh, I'm assuming.
That's a lot of energy. And he was really fucking, like, probably still hungover from the 2-day bender that they've been on.
Sheesh.
So David fell asleep, and Catherine stewed and stewed and stewed and stewed. And David woke up to her hands around his throat.
Okay, ma'am.
She was choking him and hitting him and complaining the whole time. Her parents had fucked 5 times on their wedding night.
Cringy. Cringe. It stop, ma'am. Stop. This doesn't matter.
The newlyweds had a fairly happy couple of first years of marriage.
Have to break the record.
Yeah. Literally, like, no, if my parents can do it 5 times in one night, you can fuck me 5 times in one night. Or at least 4. Or at least 6. We gotta break it.
She needs a therapist.
Gotta match it.
She needs a lot of things.
She needs a lot of
First,
things.
she needs a good fucking, which he obviously didn't do the first 3 times.
Honestly, yeah. Like,
If he would have done it right the first time,
yeah.
she would have said, fine, I'm going to go
I
to
don't
bed.
think it's about how he did it. It's how many times.
But here's the thing.
Okay,
Why are you
but,
doing it that
like,
many times?
one good time can really exhaust you.
Right.
And then you get worn out. Or you can do it a crappy 3 times and you're like, really, that's it?
It doesn't even have to be crappy, but there's no way there's not drugs involved. I mean,
for sure.
Jesus.
Anyway.
Sober people aren't fucking 3 to 6 times a night.
No.
Well, she was.
Well,
So,
she was
and
also.
I mean, they'd been fucking before they got married. So, like, why not when
They're
they got
coming off
married?
a bender. Who's to say that bender's over?
Yeah, exactly. So they get married. They both still work at the abattoir, and Catherine loved having her blades above the bed as they slept. Still.
Oh, fucking
So
hilarious.
scary. I
Here
don't
we
get it.
Here we go. It wasn't all sunshine and shiny blades, though. There were
Sunshine and shiny blades.
Respect.
There were some small issues in their relationship.
Like what?
She was the type of person to stew and stew and stew about missed imaginary curfews. And since David liked to drink and to go out, he missed his imaginary curfew quite a lot.
Well, he didn't know when it was. That might be the little
Duh.
problem in
Let's
this
start
plan.
there. Yeah.
David knocked up Catherine, and while she was pregnant and full of hormone juice, David had the bad
Ew.
luck of going out and doing really well at darts.
I don't like the term hormone juice.
She was literally hormone soup. Like your hormones grow exponentially every few days when you're pregnant.
I understand, but it's the descriptors.
Hormone soup is the next one. Alphabet soup, but it spells hormones.
Okay. I like it. So David had gone out and done really well at darts, and he'd reached the finals in a competition one night. It was like an awesome night for him, you know?
Good for him.
He won some money. It was
That's what
great.
Aussies do. They throw darts.
Americans do that too.
I know, but like it's just like I'm doing it for money.
Oh, for money.
You know what I mean?
David had gone and done his like dart competition.
Okay, he was doing well with darts.
He was doing well with darts. He made it into the finals. And on his way home, he stopped and grabbed a pack of cigarettes. So he's just a little bit late. And Katherine was fucking furious. She burned all of his clothing, and when he got home, she whacked him in the head with a cast iron skillet.
God, ma'am.
It was still hot from having been cooked, and it left a
No.
mark on his cheek. And fractured his skull.
Fuck.
Yeah.
She's violent.
His skull, like I said, was fractured, but he somehow got out of the house into a neighbor's home before collapsing. I think he tried to like wait until the next morning so that she wouldn't be suspicious of him like leaving the house.
Yeah.
The neighbor took him to the hospital and they treated him for severe injuries. And he pressed charges, but as Katherine was really talented at quote unquote apologizing on her knees,
Oh God.
David forgave her.
Manipulator.
Of balls.
Of balls, yeah.
That too.
Manipulator.
Ew. But yes.
But yeah. I saw you stewing on that one for a second.
You saw like a twinkle in her
The
eye.
wheels were turning, trying to figure out if she wanted to say it or not.
Whatever. Anyway,
I liked it. It's fine.
David forgave Katherine and they got back together.
I'm so sorry, David, but no.
So all was well for a short time.
Like how short?
So she cracked him with a golf club.
Yeah, I was like, how long was the peace in place?
I guess so between the like whack-a-mole incident and sorry, that is super disrespectful. I apologize.
Get fucked. She beat the fuck out of him. Cast iron is for sure a whack-a-mole situation.
After the whack-a-mole situation, she I guess he had still thrown her like a surprise party for her birthday, and so she was still really happy with him and everything. Anyway, so she gives birth to a baby girl.
Poor baby.
Her name is Melissa Ann.
Okay.
David had some car troubles, but the town's one-legged mechanic named Hoppy fixed it for him.
What?
Then David met another woman.
We're just glossing over that.
No more information about Hoppy. That's all we get.
That's all we
He's
get.
the town's one-legged mechanic.
I mean, good. Yay for him.
I'm gonna need a
being the
deep dive
number
on
one
Hoppy.
mechanic. But like, they named him Hoppy.
Yeah.
I need
That's
backstory.
what I need the backstory. That's
how did he
cool.
lose his leg? I
Is
don't,
he cool with
Did
the
you- did
nickname?
he lose it in
Probably because it was
Nam?
like
What's the-
easier to hop around on the one leg than to like deal with whatever, stick or whatever that he was using to try and hobble on before.
I want to fucking know.
I got nothing for you.
All right, we're moving
We'll
on.
have to figure.
Hoppy.
Sayonara, Hoppy.
Make up a whole backstory for him.
Yeah, we'll have to figure something out.
Then David met another woman and literally escaped with her 18 hours and a state away.
Okay.
So Aberdeen is in like the southeast area of the continent of Australia, and then if you draw like a line 18 hours up and in the middle of the northern quarter of that state of the country,
Okay.
that's where he moved to.
Okay, so just basically on the other side of the country.
Literally
Pretty
moved
much.
across the country to
Got
get
it.
away from this girl. And he never would have been able to get out if Hoppy hadn't fixed his car.
Thanks, Hop.
Katherine found out right the fuck away.
Oh, God.
This was, I'm pretty sure, Katherine's first full mental break. The day after.
First.
The
Okay.
first.
I'd say the frying pan was maybe before that, but
This is like the first full sizzle.
see what you did there
Yeah, full sizzle.
on the frying pan.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bravo.
Thank you. Thank you.
The day after he left, Katherine took Melissa Ann on a walk through town in her pram.
Ah, the little stroller.
Yep. During this walk, she began yelling.
Just
And then-
yelling.
she began screaming about the
what?
town,
Oh.
about the Hoppy, about David, about whatever.
About the Hoppy.
About Hoppy.
She's just ranting and raving and into the ether.
Into the ether.
She's screaming about all of the injustices that she's facing and all of the people that have wronged her. The girl that stole David. David is that manipulated her into having a baby and then abandoning her. Hoppy that fixed up David's car. The whole town for producing the girlfriend that David ran away with.
Hilarious.
Everyone is fucked but Katherine.
The universe is against me.
So she was yelling and screaming, and then she wasn't walking anymore. And then the pram wasn't just going forward anymore. It was back and forth, and then it was side to side. And then Katherine was literally swinging around this baby carriage with a baby inside of it.
What?
And then the baby was out of the pram, and
Fuck
she was
this baby.
swinging it around by its feet.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna throw this baby into the river.
She was caught and she calmed down. They took her to a mental hospital
Yeah.
where she spent a small amount of time. She was medicated to fuck, and then she was sent home. No follow-ups.
Cool.
This is, that checks.
About 2 weeks after this, Katherine took to the street again. Again with Melissa Ann, Katherine went on a walk.
No. But she did.
That's it? Just no?
Yeah, that's my answer. That's
Story
my answer.
over.
No, Antonio.
This time she went towards the train tracks.
No.
On a train line that was still very much active. The tracks were up on a hill, along a trail, and Katherine took 2-month-old Melissa Ann out of the pram and placed her on the train tracks.
What? Did they ever find out what motivated her to do this?
And then she walked away.
Her insanity, mostly.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess from her point of view, what'd she say?
She was upset about David. She was
so
still
this
pissed
was
about
her
David.
Solution?
So
He stuck me with this baby.
Yeah.
I gotta get rid of this baby.
I got to get rid of the baby.
Oh,
So she walked
God.
away. She comes back down into town. She's walking through the streets and she's ranting and raving about fucking how awful things with David are. And she grabs an axe from someone's yard and is waving it around her head, screaming at people in the middle of the streets. And they think that this is like, okay, this is just another one of Catherine's things.
No, they shouldn't be normalized by this. They should call it police again.
So
It was a little unusual, but it wasn't anything to be like super concerned about, at the time.
So they did nothing?
Old Ted was a homeless man living over by the railroad. He frequently foraged for food in the area.
frequently forged for babies.
He frequently foraged for babies in the area, and he was walking up and down the tracks and found a mushroom. Wait, sorry, a baby.
A mushroom.
It's a roadkill. I mean,
Weird looking mushroom. He took her off the tracks shortly before a train came
Oh.
and walked back into town holding this random fucking baby.
Yeah.
When the police figured it all out, they arrested Katherine
Good.
again. They committed her again
And then?
and again. When she
No.
calmed down,
No.
the next day she was sent home again with meds.
Fuck.
Again.
imagine being that
Ah.
kid now. You're like, yeah, my mom left me on a railroad tracks once.
Yeah. That's got to be a lot to
I'm
process.
part of a Wikipedia page where my mom tried to kill me, so suck on that.
She fully went bananas.
My mom is bananas.
Yeah.
B-A-N-A-N-A-S.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, as we know, mental breaks can and do happen, and they can fuck people up for a really long time. You don't have to be all the time crazy for you to be in the middle of a mental break. Like, it just
Absolutely.
happens when you're too stressed and...
Take it from me. I've been there. Absolutely. I
Yeah.
took myself to a psych ward.
Yeah, it can happen,
Yeah.
and that's an important part of, like, learning about yourself is knowing when you need to kind of
Help.
get away from it and say, I need help. This
Yeah.
is fucked up.
Yeah. And I don't think she was in a place to do that for herself. Plus the times.
Plus the times, yeah. And on top of all of that, Katherine was a textbook narcissist.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
They always are.
So she was able to calm down and tell the right people the right things so that she could leave as soon as possible.
There it is.
Yep.
So she had some ability to manipulate. There it is.
Oh, yeah. There it is. Yeah. So she did that, and then she got home. Great. She has her baby back. People in the town, they knew her, and they knew she was super weird, but up to this point, they decided that she was pretty much harmless, like her weird family before her, also
She's
from
harmless.
Aberdeen.
All she does is wave an axe around her head in the streets and yell.
I mean, she had that weird little incident with like the baby, but
Oh yeah, she's harmless.
who
She just put her
hasn't
baby
waved
on
their child
train
around in a
tracks.
crib and around the town while screaming about an ex-lover?
Yep, all normal.
Yeah. So one day, she called a coworker, Margaret Macbeth.
Another one of them butcher broads.
She asked another one of them butcher broads. She asked their mother for help as something was going on with the baby, and she needed to go to the hospital. She was like, something happened. Can you come and help me?
I broke the baby.
I broke the baby. Margaret and her mom showed up to the Knight home with all of the other Macbeth kids in tow. At this point, there's a lot of them. When they arrived, Katherine was standing outside her home with Melissa Ann in the pram right in front of her. On seeing the multiple children in the sack
In the sack?
Freud.
They're all in a giant bag.
Nope.
Yep, they're dead. Oh,
Nope. On seeing multiple children in the back of the car, Katherine said that there were too many and she'd have to get rid of them.
What?
That's when she pulled out the knife. Margaret had been looking into the pram to see the baby, and Katherine took the giant curved blade out of its hiding place next to the baby, and she
God.
slashed Margaret's face.
Oh, God.
Margaret and her mother ran up on the porch to get away from the once again raging Katherine, who had now joined them on the porch and was clearly looking for something.
To stab.
She was looking for something, yeah. But she couldn't find it. So during all of this, though, she grabs scissors that were also in the pram, and she grabs bandages that were also in the pram, and she told the Macbeths that she was going to cut them up and then bandage them back together.
Okay.
As it turned out, her dad, Ken, he had been to the home recently, and just on a whim, he'd taken the gun that Katherine stashed on the porch.
Just a whim.
Just a whim. I don't know if it was because she'd been committed twice in the last month, or that he wanted to pull a bit of a prank on her.
No, I have a feeling it's Section A. Yeah, I have a feeling it's that. Option
Honestly,
one.
I think it's more likely that he was just kind of like, this will be really fucking funny.
You really think he's just like coincidentally was like, this is the
He
time to
raped
pull
his
a prank?
wife about 10 times a day, so I don't imagine anything
forgot
good
all about
coming out
that.
of him. I think he has a sick, twisted sense of humor,
All right,
and
no.
stealing a gun off a porch would be exactly what he thought would be
I
funny.
will concede that makes sense.
He
I
said, "It's my
forgot
gun
who
now."
this man was.
You what?
He said, it's my gun now.
It's my gun now. So, whatever it was, even though I'm pretty sure I'm right,
Okay.
the gun was gone. So luckily for everyone involved, Katherine had no way to get rid of all of them in quick succession. Now she just had her knives. And she still wasn't done with the knife to Mrs. Macbeth's throat, she had her take Katherine into town looking for Mr. Macbeth. She's like, all right, we're going to go search down your husband. We'll go get some money. It'll be a whole thing.
Okay.
On the way,
Or I'll slash you again.
yeah.
Jesus.
On the way, they passed a petrol station. This
All
was
right.
fortuitous to Katherine, who just so happened to bring along a check that she needed to cash.
Okay.
Random.
Running errands while holding a car of people hostage. Got it.
Plus her baby that apparently needed to go to the hospital.
Oh, God. Yeah, no, I can't stop. I
That
gotta
baby?
stop
No, that
at the
baby's dead.
bank.
Don't worry
That
about that baby.
So she had the Macbeths pull into the station and she got out to cash the check. But once they got there,
Yeah.
the Macbeth family managed to get into the office and they locked the doors behind them. You know how when you're dealing with someone who's like furiously enraged and has fully snapped, and when you do anything to create a kind of barrier between someone and yourself, like it just makes them angrier and angrier?
Good,
Yeah.
yeah.
It just sends them flying off the handle. So in a rage, obviously this happened to her, she ripped a fucking blade off of a tractor and used it to try and pry the door open to get into the office. And then she saw Hoppy.
Oh.
And then she
No,
saw...
not Hoppy.
She cut off his other leg.
No.
That bitch.
Now he's
She
stubby.
dropped the leg. She dropped...
She
tripped
dropped
him.
the leg.
She swept the leg like Johnny.
She dropped the blade because she had seen something a lot more useful, which was Hoppy's crutch.
Oh.
His peg leg.
She used his crutch to eventually get into the office.
She used his peg leg.
Not his peg leg. His
peg leg.
He's still attached to the end of it, and he's just this
Oh, no.
scrawny little dude.
She just
like
fucking pushes him over and like takes it off of him.
She's 6 feet tall.
Give me
and
that.
he's like a 5 foot nothing little
Yeah.
scrawny. She's like using him as a key. Like,
Come here, little man.
Yeah.
God.
Just uses to break the glass on the door.
Jesus.
Open it.
I do not consent to being tossed around like this. Please don't. When the police showed up, she had one of the Macbeth boys hostage with a knife to his throat.
Sheesh.
Man, she's on one.
Yeah, they were able to get the kid away, but kept hitting Catherine with brooms, which again infuriated her.
Of course.
Which is hilarious to think that she's like holding him a knife. They're like, hey, somebody give me a broom. Shoot, shoot. Get out of here.
Go on, get.
Yeah. Fuck off now.
He bear mace with her.
Literally.
And then, like a light switch, she collapsed on the floor and gave up the fight.
Okay.
She ran out of calories.
She is so confusing.
She just used all her reserve
I
energy.
think so. Her manic episode was over.
Yeah,
She was on backup reserves for a
gassed
while.
out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Lady.
When she was arrested this time and institutionalized yet again,
Well, duh.
nurses asked exactly what her plan was with this whole hostage thing.
Yeah, what were you trying to accomplish? Did you have a 5-year plan?
So Catherine explained, like it was fucking obvious, that she was going to kill Hoppy, take the car up 18 hours to Queensland, kill David and his mom too, who had gone with David to Queensland when he ran.
Okay.
Duh.
I mean, okay.
Duh.
I see how you connected your dots.
Right. So the cops called David and informed him of the attacks.
Okay. What did David have to say?
Not my problem anymore.
Yeah, he's probably like, don't ever call me again.
I moved 18 hours away from this reason.
No. As in all healthy relationships, David ditched the new girl and took his mom back down to Aberdeen, and under the care of her mother-in-law, Catherine was released for a third time.
No.
Baby, come back.
No.
Don't blame it on me. It's not my fault this time.
It wasn't me.
Caught me crying on the sofa.
It wasn't me.
Caught me going back to my ex.
Oh shit. Moving all the way across the country.
It wasn't me.
Picked my ex up from rehab.
That was me.
That was me. Oh, this man, sir, all the red flags. This is the third time. Did he know that she'd been there for the 2 other previous times?
Yes.
Okay, so sir, don't do this.
Bad gas travels fast in a small town.
He was in a trance.
Dick's never been that good.
And it never will be.
No, it's never.
Well, it's because it's not about the dick. It's about how you use everything together.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the nicest dick doesn't even come close to the worst vagina. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Just doing a little stretch, excuse me.
You don't know what I'm saying? All right, never mind.
I don't, personally. I assume you're right.
That's okay. Literal crickets.
What is happening?
Lauren's just listening to crickets.
It's just the awkward silence.
Yeah,
and when
we all
you
just stared at each
when
other
there's
around
an
the
awkward
ring.
silence in shows, there's like crickets to do that
It
thing.
just got
and then I just
so quiet.
No, I had a meta moment. It was kind of fun.
Oh, okay.
Art imitates life, remember?
So after this, the family didn't really feel comfortable staying in Aberdeen. She was a little embarrassed about all the stuff that had happened.
Yeah.
You know, since all the attempted murders and horrific abuses of the daughter and all that
now
shit.
She's embarrassed?
Now she's embarrassed,
All
yeah.
right, well.
So it was 1980, so they moved away, and she, the little family of 3 plus the mother-in-law, they went to the faraway town of Ipswich. I don't know if that's pronounce it, but whatever.
Sure, why not?
Catherine was able to find work again at the slaughterhouse, and by this time she'd long since been killing animals for fun and financial reasons.
Okay, then.
Yeah. There, the family settled and had their second daughter, Natasha Marie.
Poor kid.
Yeah. 4 years later, Catherine left David.
Okay, her turn.
She took the kids with her, too.
Oh, all right.
She moved around here and there. She went back to Aberdeen a couple times. She lived with her parents. She continued to work at abattoirs in various capacities, and she clearly enjoyed what she did, but stuff would always happen, and she'd have to move around again.
So stuff would always happen. Well, let's see, quote unquote, what kind of stuff would always happen?
Man, they are doing everything they can to not put this woman in prison.
I know. It seems like there's just so many cracks she's
Well,
falling
she
through.
didn't really have nearly as many violent stuff. It would be like kind of dudes that she would be fucking or jobs that she would lose or whatever.
I mean, a frying pan to the head and a knife slash to the face. Those are
things that land you in prison around here.
Listen, they'd land me in prison if I did them.
I'm pretty sure they'd land me in prison too, because I don't know.
And thus we see the duality of man. Women can do these horrific abuses on men, but if men do them, like, they're not penalized in this exactly the same way.
No. It's because with a woman, a lot of times lawyers want to paint them as these delicate flowers that could never have done this.
And they want to paint men as macho men.
Oh,
They
yes.
want to
Got to be a macho
man.
The super gay village people.
Yeah, exactly. Who were macho men?
They were macho men.
They were
Yes.
pretty ripped.
Yeah, they were.
Very ripped.
She obviously enjoyed what she did at the slaughterhouse, but she decided one day that she was a truck.
She was a truck.
Vroom, vroom, bitch.
That is one of my favorite bits on the show now, that she was a truck.
A car.
We should start guessing what it is.
One
what
day
car
she
it is.
decided she needed to
She was
drive across
a
the street.
2008 Chevy.
Yeah, exactly.
We're going to be able to, like, figure out the engines now.
Yeah, we'll be like, yep, that's a Dodge.
It's a
Yeah.
V8 Cummins.
That's a Dodge.
It's a Didge.
A Dodge.
So she loved being a boner. Fucking cars. Oh my God. I'm trying to say
A
things.
car boner.
I hear being
Car
a
boner.
boner's fun.
It is pretty fun to bone.
Being a
She liked what she did at the abattoir.
Yeah,
and at
do
one
what you
point,
love.
though, she just decided she didn't want to work anymore. She's like, I'm done with this.
We all have that thought.
Yeah, so she applied for workman's comp, and in the weeks leading up to her meeting with the officials, frequently used poor lifting techniques to move around heavy and large things around her home.
She was trying to get like a disability workman's comp.
And she, like, made herself have the kinds of injuries that would say, oh, yeah, your back is fucked. You get this.
All right, so she's determined.
Yeah, it worked. She got on disability for life and guaranteed income.
life.
Yeah,
Okay.
right.
But I mean, disability isn't like your full paycheck.
No, but it allowed her to have, like, a small income, and she didn't own a home anymore, so she was given, like, a little housing voucher for the town of Aberdeen.
Okay.
Right.
Ma'am.
She still had her knives with her. She kept those around.
Those
She
are important.
took them everywhere.
Yeah, those are probably her most prized possession above her daughter's.
She kept them in the seat under her car, and she would still hang them above her bed when she slept.
Terrifying.
In 1986, she met the second David.
David 2.
David 2.
Welcome to the shit show.
David 2, come on down.
Come on down. He comes down. Yeah, that's right. You're all haters.
David the Second.
David the second.
Yes.
His name was David Saunders.
The second.
He was a miner who went by the name Sondo.
Sondo.
Sounds like he's in high school. He's a minor.
Hey,
that goes by the name
Sondo. You going to the game Friday?
He's 17.
Yeah.
What's up, Sondo?
No, he was like, I think he was like 38 or 39 when he met this lady.
Yeah.
When he met
Oh,
her.
I'll
okay.
think what I
Well,
want.
he probably still had a Letterman jacket.
Yeah. Well, I mean, by this time she was like early 30s or late 20s or something.
Okay.
She got disability in her 30s for life.
She worked really hard at it.
Holy Lord.
To fuck up her back for a little while, yeah.
She put a lot of time and thought into it.
She put effort into having a disability
Lying and committing fraud. Although I guess
and
she didn't technically
purposely
commit.
injuring herself so that she could get
But
it.
if she, I guess it is still fraud because she made herself injured, but the injury itself still qualified her.
What do I look like, a fucking fed to you? I don't know.
I don't know. Still, fuck you, Catherine.
Yeah, fuck you, Catherine.
Garbage.
Garbage day, garbage day.
What are
Being
you gonna
annoying
do
all
on
through
garbage
the day.
Oh, I was gonna say garbage day, garbage day. Throw out all your condoms and cake. I don't know.
That's better.
I don't know.
Somebody had a birthday.
Well, I did recently have a birthday, but I didn't do anything
Condoms
fun
and cake,
for
man.
I didn't do anything.
Freud!
I didn't do anything like, that kind of fun.
Clearly, something happened.
Got something on the brain.
I do have something on the brain, yes.
Condoms and cake, man.
Sex.
Not cake, though.
Sex. She's gonna get some. Booty, 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 rocking everywhere. Booty,
Rocking
booty,
right
booty,
there.
booty, rocking everywhere.
Just right there.
I'm really not going to do
Boot, boogity, boot, dude.
Because what if they listen to this podcast? I'm not going to let them listen to these podcasts then.
All right, fine.
Okay.
Fuck it.
All right.
It's not for you.
You deserve lots of orgasms, and if they can't handle listening to this and being told that you deserve lots of orgasms in your life,
They don't.
Then they don't deserve to listen to this.
You.
I keep headbutting my mic. All right, where were we?
Sondo.
Sondo.
Don't headbutt the dick, though. Okay, we can move on.
I don't need lessons, thank you.
Apparently, you do.
We're great friends.
It's not really about lessons so much as it is about spatial awareness.
Yeah, no, I don't have great spatial awareness.
Keep your eyes open, okay?
Object
eyes on
permanence.
the prize.
Yeah,
eyes on the prize.
Where'd it go? Oh.
Where'd it go?
Eyes on the prize, man.
Object permanence. Put a blanket over it. Where'd it go?
Situational and spatial awareness here.
That's a neat trick.
Watch me make it disappear.
Just hang a towel on it.
It's gone.
It's gone.
Ta-da!
You're magic.
Abracadingus.
Okay.
Got her.
You did. You did.
Sondo. We're back to Sondo. Sondo. It wasn't long before Sondo had moved into state housing with Catherine and the kids. He just was like, I'm going to sleep here for a bit.
Okay.
You can be fucking. So, I mean, he was there most of the time, but they would fight about what he was doing when he wasn't with Catherine, and she would get pissed and she'd kick him out, and so he'd go back to his apartment in a nearby city because he had a nice, productive life before he ever met her.
Oh,
And
shit. Okay.
Then she would follow him into town. She'd apologize on her knees. He'd take her
God.
back, and around it
There
went.
we go. There's that little merry-go-round we're used to.
Merry-go-round of abuse.
They need therapy.
Yeah.
Yeah. She once murdered his dingo puppy as a threat to what she would do if he ever cheated on her.
Oh. Dude, don't bring animals into this.
He hadn't even done it yet, and she butchered the dingo.
Just to be like, this is what's going to happen.
You thought this was bad. Don't even think about it.
Yep. And that was right before she hit him upside the head with a frying pan and knocked him
there
out
it
cold.
is.
Some real mob shit.
She
Yeah.
really loves the cast iron.
Yeah.
In case you were thinking about it, I killed your puppy. Just so
Yep.
you know.
And here's an extra fuck you to think about for a few
Yeah.
days.
Unless you can't remember it, because I bonked you pretty good.
Get on up. So he knocked her up again, and to do the right thing, he put a deposit on a house to buy for the family.
Okay.
And when her disability commission came in, Catherine paid it off, and the house was theirs.
Okay.
In 1988, Catherine had Sarah Saunders, the third baby girl.
All right.
In-
All
in
three
88, you said?
girls.
So these girls now, the children of these fucking psychopaths are our age.
Yes, so one of them's like Sarah's only a couple years older than me.
Yeah, it's like 1979, 1980 or 81, and then 1988. So yeah,
That's wild.
people are our age, yeah.
Damn.
So the house into which Sarah was welcomed looked like the scariest fucking crazy old uncle you've ever seen in any horror movie.
Great.
Skulls,
No.
slaughterhouse equipment,
Whoa.
blades and hooks, lawn
Great.
equipment, leather clothing, animal traps.
Leather clothing.
Yeah.
Well, I
Boots.
get it like a leather jacket.
Jackets.
Gimp
chaps.
suits.
No,
Gimp
like
suits.
cowboy shit because they're out.
You know.
Oh,
How
so
do you know?
chaps. He got chaps.
They didn't have
Were you there?
They didn't have a latex thing. It was a leather thing.
Listen, I didn't say anything about
It was old dusty like Texas Chainsaw Massacre type shit, like Ed Gein
We
type
just
shit.
watched the other night.
but not made of human skin.
Come here, Leatherface.
Sando and Katherine were, again, far from the perfect couple, and after a few years, Sando just couldn't take it anymore.
Okay.
The two had a fight where Katherine hit Sando in the face with an iron and then stabbed him
Just
in the
like David.
chest.
David 1 and David 2, many
All
similarities.
over
Yep.
again. Oh, yeah, I forgot they're both David.
She stabbed him in the chest with a pair of scissors.
Whoa!
Take that, nerd!
He left and he literally went into hiding.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
Bitch is fucking crazy.
Bitch is fucking crazy, yes. And she looked for him all over. She asked like everyone that he knew
that's
and everyone he worked
terrifying.
with.
She looked
where he
high, but
was.
she didn't look low.
Oh, it's so terrifying. To
Well-
have this woman looking for you.
And
No
by
thanks.
this time, all of them were like, we have seen the bruises that you've left on this poor man.
Yeah.
Like, you can fuck right off.
Yeah,
so
like,
none
I'm
of them,
not
none
helping.
of
Keep the
them
house,
had
I'm out.
actually seen them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
not helping.
No
this
one
woman.
saw him.
Support.
He came. Yeah. So he came back a few months later. He wanted to see Sarah
Of course,
because, you know,
that's my child.
yeah, exactly. But there was a flaw. Katherine had gone to the police and taken out an apprehended violence order against him.
Oh my god!
Basically a restraining order.
Oh, pot calling the kettle black.
On account of his years of long abuse of her, constantly hitting and beating and threatening her.
When, ma'am? I would like receipts of this.
So Sando couldn't get access to his daughter because he was a violent abuser.
Fuck you, bitch.
Hashtag believe all women, am I right?
Okay. I'm not going to touch that one.
We're dealing with some of that even right
That's
now.
what I'm saying.
Like
Can't believe them all.
Yep. In 1991, Katherine moved on to a man named John Chillingworth.
Oh, not another David.
No, this is
Nobody
John
warned
1.
this man.
This is John 1.
This is John 1.
Nobody said, hey, you might not wanna.
She moved on to him because he'd knocked her up. Yeah. They
Never
used
mind, now I know.
they used to work together at the abattoir back when she was working at the one in
yes, another
Aberdeen.
butcher. Mhm.
Yes. And, you know, like she was known for a good fucking, they fucked about for about 3 years. She had a son named Eric, and that was now 4 children for Katherine. And she moved on again.
4 children that are like 20 years apart in age, mind you. Like over the span of like 20 years almost.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of kids over a very long time. So she moved on again, though, to a man named John Price, or John 2.
Johns and Davids.
Yep. Now, John Price was, by all accounts, quote, a terrific bloke. Sure, he was a drinker, could drink with the best of the Aussies, but he was a happy drunk.
Yay.
He had 3 children from a previous marriage, and though the marriage had ended, he and his wife were co-parenting, and they got along quite well. Rumor was he had never quite got over her.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, here comes the problem. And then Catherine Axe murdered everyone.
Yeah, I'm worried about her.
Shh. But he was taken in by the charm, the fucking, and I imagine the fun time that the crazy provided for the first little bit of a wildly dysfunctional relationship.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. You know exactly what I'm saying.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So he knew exactly what Katherine was when they started dating in 1995. Like, he was well aware of her reputation because
So he says.
he'd already like heard about all of the baby swinging about and that kind of stuff because he was from Aberdeen. But his kids seemed to like her, and quote, apart from violent arguments, at first life was a bunch of roses.
Apart from the violent arguments, whatever that means.
Apart from the violence.
Yeah, but I would like to know what kind of violence.
It was like, apart from the violence, she was a model student. Apart from the violence, it was a
guess-
good relationship.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Apart from the
Seems
violence,
counterintuitive.
she was a reasonable person.
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah, it seems like the violence is important here.
Yeah, at her very fucking core, Katherine knew the world needed to revolve around her, and before long there were lots of arguments about John keeping a little bit of his independence. Katherine wanted to get married, and John was like, good luck with that.
Yeah.
Like, we can fuck, we can sleep together, but like, we're not getting married. Nah, that's not
I
happening.
like my sex crazy, not my wives.
T-shirt.
Very misogynistic t-shirt.
No, it's not.
Saying in the streets, insane in the sheets.
Sure. Whatever gets you there.
Whatever. So Katherine wasn't happy about that. Like,
Yeah.
he had a good job at the mine. He was making pretty good money. He had 2 children of his own to take care of, but he wasn't jumping in the bit to commit to crazy, but she needed that. She needed it to revolve around what she and her family needed, so she decided to make it so.
So she murdered him instead.
And then married his corpse.
John Price had worked for the mining company for 17 years. He was a true company man, and he put a lot of effort into his name, the community, and his family. A while back, his company had updated their first aid kits. They tossed the old kits in the garbage, and being a sensible man, John had grabbed a couple to have in his house. They were literal garbage. He had picked them out of the dump. In 1998, Katherine walked around the house with a video camera, taping evidence of the first aid kits sitting in the home. Mm-hmm. Because of policy and because of Katherine's video, John lost his job of 17 years.
Oh, so Jesus.
Yeah. John was rightly pissed, so he kicked Katherine and her kids out of the house.
Yeah.
They were done. They were like,
Yeah.
nah, this is fucking over.
You messed with my ability to provide for myself and my own family.
Right. So she had to move her and her kids back. She had to move
Fuck
her
you,
and her
bitch.
kids back into the horror house.
Fuck you, bitch.
And bad gas travels fast in a small town, and it wasn't long before everyone knew what Katherine had done to John, who was a man that was known as a gentle and kind guy. He'd never hurt a soul.
Yeah.
A few months later, John decided to give her another chance.
Why? Why? What is it about her?
Pussy so good.
I really hope that's not true
Reunited
for her.
and it feels so good. Yeah, pretty
Wet
much.
and wild like it always should.
Exactly.
Don't know the lyrics.
Those weren't the lyrics. It's okay.
Yeah, we're
Okay, I figured.
making it up. So this lost him a ton of respect among his peers and friends, a lot of whom cut contact afterwards. Like, they couldn't deal with that. They're like, no, if you're going to be with her, we're not doing this anymore.
Right.
And rightfully so.
Right.
Yeah.
She was never allowed to live with him again, but she had free access to his home. And they all basically were like, if you get back together, like, we cannot guarantee your safety because we've seen what she's done to you before.
Yeah.
Things had been really deteriorating for some time. The fights had gotten worse. He said this was because he usually went away before the sun was up. He was like a miner. He just,
I'm working.
I'm working. I'm busy. And then she stabbed him in the chest one night.
Why?
Yeah. So that was the last straw for John, who kicked her out yet again
It was like, no more.
after.
After she stabbed him, then he kicked her out.
He showed up to work and he told his coworkers and neighbors all, if something happened, it would be Katherine. He said many times, if you see my truck home in the morning, something's wrong.
Oh, shit. He needed the if I go missing folder.
Then, one morning.
Then one day, they encouraged him to take out a restraining order, and so on February 29th, 2000, that's exactly what he did.
Excellent. Good first step.
Katherine, for her part, had a busy day as well.
Uh-oh.
She had gone to visit her children, and at this point, her grandchildren. She brought the video camera, she set it up, and she sat down with her grandkids. With the camera rolling, she had these little children hop up on Nana's lap and began singing made-up songs. She opened up her blouse and let her breasts show,
What?
singing about Nana's titty bops.
Why?
Because she's crazy.
What the fuck? These poor kids.
Just gonna give her a second to process this.
Yeah. Why?
Titty
Okay.
bops.
Who
Yeah.
saw this video? That's what I want to know.
Police.
Who is this video for?
Nana Titty Bops.
So later it would be kind of shown to like, this is kind of a crude style of Will.
Okay.
Yeah. It was super weird though.
Yeah.
The way that she was saying things and the way that she was singing shit made it look like she was kind of making a, like, here's what I want to go to whom. So she finished up her, the video.
Her little music video.
Yep. She closed that down and then she went to the thrift store and she got herself some nice black lingerie.
Why?
Nana Titty Bops at it again.
Yeah, she's really feeling herself, which is like good
Oh,
for
yeah.
you, but not around the kids.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Nana Titty Bop's about to be feeling herself.
Yeah, you don't bring your kids into this titty bop video.
All right. So this is, I'm just a content warning right now.
No, let's
It's
go.
gonna get gross.
Oh shit!
Granny
okay.
porn.
So she arranged for a sleepover for all the kids so that she and Johnny Boy could have themselves some private time with her thrifted lingerie.
She sexy murdered him.
When I say she arranged for a sleepover, she assigned one of her older children to watch all of the younger children.
And just keep them on that side of the house.
No, in her house so that she could go to John's house and fuck him. Yeah. She wasn't aware of the restraining order that had happened. John wasn't aware of the sleepover that was happening. John's coworkers begged him not to go home, but he didn't want Katherine alone with his daughters, so he returned to the house.
Damn.
Katherine was gone, and so were the kids.
Oh, shit.
She must have left a note because he figured out that they were at a sleepover, and he had a nice evening to himself. He went and hung out with some of the neighbors. He came home, went to bed alone.
Uh-oh. Where are the girls?
For once, peace in his life.
Yeah, except for followed by terror.
Until
Katherine showed up to his house around 11 p.m. John was already asleep by this point, so she sat and watched TV. Then she took a shower. Then she stepped into her something a little less comfortable, if you know what I mean.
We do.
Yeah.
you said a little less comfortable, even though you meant a little more comfortable.
No, I meant it on purpose.
Yeah, no, I understand.
because it's never more
it's not comfortable. I get
it's always
it.
I do it on purpose.
All
Yeah,
the
because
different
it's always
straps.
less comfortable.
Oh, this one goes, all the straps. How many straps? Good God.
Depends on the lingerie.
Holy Lord.
What kind of lingerie are
not
you
talking
wearing?
about-
Anna doesn't
me?
want to tell us her parents' first name, so she'll tell us about her straps. Good Lord.
Yeah, because that's my business.
Well then. All right, tell
The
us.
Terry's Moses' actual names are none of our business, but her kinky sex life is our
It's not even
business.
kinky.
It's public, in fact.
It is. Now it's
They
going to be
have
public.
like the little things that connect the
Oh, you mean
yeah,
the garter straps? Yeah.
That's the straps
It's
I'm
not
talking
kinky?
about. No.
I mean,
It's a little
isn't
garter belt.
lingerie all
Yeah.
inherently kinky?
No.
No, if you're still wearing a garter belt for your stocking straps, I'd say that's pretty
It's
kinky.
a
I don't
little
think
kinky.
anyone's
So,
wearing that
you-
Listen,
unless they're about to
Hey,
get laid.
Be what you're into, but it sounds like you don't want to be labeled as kinky. That's what it sounds like.
Be proud of
No,
wearing that shit
it's
to go
fine.
and go get laid, girl. But
No,
like,
there are things about my life that I would say are kinky, but that is like so tame compared to other things.
That's the relative kinkiness of the garter straps. Yes.
Yeah, they're so like it's like it's not even that.
Next week she's gonna
meanwhile,
tell us
I'm
about
in
ball
like
gags.
Meanwhile, I'm in like the eternal struggle for like a comfortable like one piece like pajama romper. You
Sure.
know,
Oh, that's an
what I
eternal
want.
struggle for everyone.
That's my eternal search.
My eternal search is I just want to own my own land and just get the fuck out of here.
Oh, she's
Bills.
It's
changing
not
the
about
subject.
underwear.
No.
She's changing the subject now.
Damn. Yeah. Objection. Relevance.
No, it's just ADHD. Denied.
Sustained.
Back to it.
You're the defendant
Do
in
your
this
job.
case.
I got therapy. Let's go.
This is.
Whoa.
We're gonna.
I'm joking.
Spicy.
No, guess
was
what? No,
supposed
no,
to
it's
be a
fine.
joke.
We're gonna move on now, but we're gonna grill you next week.
Oh,
No.
hell yeah.
Don't grill me. I don't do well under pressure.
You're gonna crack
That's
like
the
an egg.
sizzle.
Is she sexy murders him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So she gets into something
Less comfortable.
less comfy. And she wakes John up and they did some rutting.
Some what?
Some fucking.
Okay.
They fucking. And then they finished and John went back to sleep.
Of course.
Yeah. So when he woke up again, it was because of a stabbing pain in his body.
Oh god.
She removed his kidneys in the bathtub.
As he opened his eyes, he saw Katherine over him, butcher knife in hand.
Jesus.
She had stabbed him where she was used to stabbing to bleed out cows and pigs, but the human body doesn't quite work the same way, so she couldn't get to his heart. So she stabbed him again, looking for the right artery to nick.
Jesus.
John pushed her off, but she was a large woman,
Yeah, she
and
was
John
big.
was, like all of her partners had been, smaller than her. And so she kept stabbing at him. He finally
guy.
bucked her off, running through the hall and out to the front door, but Katherine was close in tow and continued stabbing at him. She grabbed him from the front porch and dragged him back inside the house, where she continued to stab and stab and stab until John stopped moving.
Poor guy.
I told you.
As John bled out on the floor, Katherine took herself another shower, put on some clothes, grabbed John's ATM card, went into town, and pulled $1,000 from his account.
Of
Nice.
course.
Then she returned to the home. She stripped naked and built herself a little butcher shop.
She's dismembering him?
She laid out her knives and dragged John's corpse to the cutting floor. In one smooth and expert cut, she sliced him from shoulder blade down to the groin, down to the feet, and back up. She then slowly peeled back all the skin from his body. But for one tiny tuft of hair, Katherine removed John's skin in one single cut. She then hung the skin from hooks in the doorway to the living room.
Oh, my God.
Next, Katherine beheaded John's body. His head went into a pot along with some spices and water that goes on the heat. She returned to the corpse and sliced off the rump, which was one of Katherine's favorite cuts.
Great.
She threw that in the oven to roast.
Oh, my God. I didn't know we were taking a cannibal turn.
She chopped up some vegetables. She to go with all of this, but they're not the most precise of sizing. It's more when you're cooking kind of angry and the dicing isn't pretty. It's all uneven.
Why are we
and shit.
going into detail
The
about
flavor ends up a
dicing?
little off because you didn't take your time.
It's rustic, as they call it on Bake Off.
It is. It's a rough stick. Yeah.
Rustic.
Rustic.
So back to the part where
Rustic.
cannibalism is involved.
Right. So she has these non-exact
What?
dicings of vegetables,
Who's she
but she's
feeding this guy
cooking
to?
them. She's roasting
Why
them.
is I'm very curious. You're spending a lot of times on how she diced the vegetables. Is that going to come into play later?
So she throws that in the oven, and then she
answers.
grabbed another slice of meat and she tossed it out for John's dog, who had been in the yard this whole time.
She fed his dog him.
Butt meat.
That poor dog has no idea.
Now, sources are really just speculating on this a lot, but being the time-conscious woman that I am, I like to think that once she got the meat and the veggies into the roast, that was when she started setting the table, because that's how a schedule goes.
Mm-hmm.
She put 2 plates out with name cards on them. In a third chair at the head of the table, she placed John's now headless, rumpless corpse. She crossed one leg over the other like he was just chillin', and she put a soda bottle in his arms.
With no skin, mind you.
Ew.
It's all just muscle and no head.
Just ew. No, this man.
She wrote a note. Time got you back, Jonathan, for rapping my doubter. You to Beck for Ross, for Little John. Now play with Little John's dick, John Price.
That barely made sense.
Fully psychotic.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain the abuse that she claims happened never actually happened because, like, John had an amazing reputation. Even his kids were like, no, come on. So when the roast was done, she set the table with 2 settings, one for each of John's daughters.
God.
With the table set, she turned off the heat for the stove and she left John's head in the pot.
Fuck off.
She took a handful of sleeping pills. She set the table. She took a handful of sleeping pills. She drank some coffee. She went to bed, supposedly hoping to never wake up.
Well, the
Then
coffee.
do wine, not coffee.
Right.
The sun was just rising over the town of Aberdeen.
Is she dead yet?
John's neighbor woke up on March 1st, looked out the window, and saw old Pricey's truck, which was weird because he'd been told that if that truck was ever there when he woke up, there'd be issues.
Oh, today's that day.
Today is that day. So he walked up to the house and he knocked, but there was no answer. In a horror movie-like scene, the neighbor went to open the door, but looked down and saw the handle covered in blood. So he walked away and he called the cops, who showed up right the fuck away. So a couple officers came out to the scene and they went inside to investigate. As they entered the door, they saw a curtain that blocked their view from the rest of the home. They pulled back the curtain to walk through, and one officer noticed that it was wet.
Oh, God. Yeah.
He looked back at the curtain, trying to understand, and his eyes adjusted to what he was looking at. He realized that John Price's empty face was staring back at him. It was still recognizable on the hooks.
Oh, it was on the hooks. That's right.
Inside, they found the gruesome dinner scene, the mess Katherine had made in the kitchen, making her overly complicated meal, and the bloody trail from the hallway back into the bedroom. As they reached the room, they heard snoring, Katherine sleeping peacefully just a few feet from them.
Jesus.
All those sleeping pills.
Yeah,
Yep.
no shit.
They got her out and they pumped her stomach, and then they questioned her. She claimed to know nothing about what had just
Oh,
happened.
fucking hell.
And in fact, would get very visibly upset whenever detectives talked about it or accused her of such a thing. She was finally arrested, and a team of mental health professionals were sent in to analyze her.
Mm-hmm.
She played all sorts of bullshit. She talked about how about her abuse as a kid. She threw around about how abusive John had been and both the Davids and then the other John. The history from around the town told a rather different story, and everyone kind of knew it at this point. So they came up with the same old bullshit that she actually believes her own bullshit.
Well, that's most narcissists.
Yep.
Yeah.
So as usual, like most narcissists, Katherine pled not guilty.
Mm-hmm.
When the evidence was presented, it was too much for a lot of jurors. Like during the grand jury, like trial selection and stuff, basically jurors had to be excused before evidence was shown. And then during the photographs and stuff, a lot of them were like, nope, I'm out.
Yeah.
And something just must have changed in her advice of counsel before it went to trial, because right before it went to trial, she pled guilty. At the time, she was the only woman ever to get life without parole. That's no longer the case, but she is apparently thriving in prison.
Great, because we want her thriving.
Yes,
You know?
she's the mom of most of her fellow inmates, all of whom hold her in high regard. Her reputation literally preceded her because she cooked her husband. I mean, come on.
Yeah, that's pretty big news.
I think there's another aspect to this as well. Throughout her entire life, she rarely gets in fights with women. Even in an incident with one of John's daughters where she was being disrespected, she really didn't fight the girl.
Yeah, she's a girl's girl.
No, she was raised by fighting boys, and so she knew how to do that, but she
I was
couldn't
joking.
get really
She
aggressive
knows how
around
to intimidate
girls.
men. She doesn't know how to intimidate
Yeah.
women.
Right, no, I was...
Yeah,
joking
she
around.
backs down from fights frequently with women.
Yeah.
And I think she knows she's much larger and more intimidating, which is why she's happy to fight men and pick men that were smaller than her.
She likes to
didn't-
fight someone her own size or of the
She can
opposite
pick
size.
on someone who's smaller than her, and she didn't have the same type of rage towards women because she hadn't been raised to hate women actively.
Right.
Like her mother had just told her always what a asshole, men were. But she is still in prison. She's having a great time. And
She's still doing good, I guess.
yep.
Should check in on her, see if we can get an interview.
I don't want to talk to her.
No, not really.
No? All right.
No. Wow, this woman is, a lot.
Katherine Knight, and apparently they call her like the cannibal killer, like a cannibal something.
Cannibal Queen.
Cannibal Queen, but there's no evidence that actually says that she was the
That
one
she ate it,
that she
maybe?
ate it. It shows that she like took a lot of preparation to prepare this meal for, these imaginary place settings. It seemed like it was a lot more about the product of her mental snap. Like
Yeah.
she killed him, and then now she's living out this huge fantasy, and she just prepares everything as she wanted it.
Yeah.
Whether or not she was actually going to eat it never ever mattered. It was the presentation of it all.
It's fucking
It
wild.
was the insult.
It was a very, very gruesome presentation.
She put him
Crime
in his
of
favorite
passion.
chair. Like, it's, be it a sign of final respect or a final fuck you of like, I got your chair all bloody with your own blood.
Very likely could be.
It was her masterpiece.
You like
little
this
bit,
chair
yeah.
so much here.
Yeah,
Now you're stuck.
exactly.
Put your assless ass in it forever.
Yep.
Skinless ass.
Well, no,
An assless
she
ass.
cut out the rump.
The rump.
for the roast. So
They had a rump roast.
no ass meat either.
No ass meat either. He ain't got no ass.
His assless ass.
But Lieutenant Dan, you ain't got no legs.
Well,
That's a fucking show.
it's been a fucking podcast.
That's
It's a
it.
fucking
As always.
podcast.
Thanks for listening. Catch us on the
Thank you.
socials. Send us your questions or suggestions at wellbehavedwomenpodcast@gmail.com.
Pretty
Yep.
please.
Oh, and Patreon's happening.
It's in the works.
Yes.
We did a lot
An
of
announcement.
work on it this past week. So
Yeah. An
And
announcement will be coming
hold
soon.
on to your pantyhose.
Yes.
Yup.
Anyway, that's been a fun show.
Bye.
Bye.